Well, hello. We have an idea, and I was thinking about it. I think we should call it Fancy Shit.
I like this.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Fancy Shit. We are going to watch a terrible film while dressed very dapper, and drinking fancy glasses full of
Cheap drinks.
buzz balls. These are
This time it's Buzzballs. These are the pina colada.
pina colada chillers in our. That's not as good when you have ice in them, but there we go. See, and tonight we will be watching Joe Dirt 2, Beautiful Loser. Not only does it have David Spade reprising his famous role as Joseph Dirt,
Joseph Dirte.
but yes, it also has Patrick Warburton and apparently Dennis Miller and Christopher Walken. God damn.
I'm very well, yeah, because you're talking to a man all along.
Yeah.
Do it again. Stab you in the face with a solder knife.
That's right.
Wasn't that from Joe Dirt 1?
I think that was from Joe Dirt 1, yeah. So we're gonna watch it. We are going to have buzzballs, and then we will be back with our review.
Cheers.
Fancy shit. Oh, this is gonna be an experience.
Look, Cracker, don't you be talking no Forrest Gump crap to me, you little bitch waffle. She.
Hi, how are you?
That's guys, I am fucking tired.
Yeah, why are we still awake? Why aren't we in bed? So mistakes were made. Mistakes were made.
See, when I picked up this DVD at the garage sale, I thought it was just Joe Dirt. And then you pointed out, no, it's Joe Dirt 2, which I had never seen.
I didn't know it existed.
I didn't know that they had made a Joe Dirt 2.
Yeah, apparently they did. A Crackle original. So I did a little bit of scooping on it because there's like a million different streaming services. And apparently there's a streaming service called Crackle.
Oh.
And it's owned by Sony.
It's a streaming service.
It is. Now, it is not where all of the Happy Madison stuff usually gets put out, Adam Sandler's production company. Most of them actually end up on Netflix. So it really speaks to something that, like, hey, we're going to do a sequel to one of the most, financially successful Happy Madison productions ever. But we can't get it on Netflix. So we're going to put it on Crackle. I guess this is something that David Spade has been like working on for a really long time.
Yeah, we were just talking about that because the original Joe Dirt came out in 2001.
Right.
And this movie came out in 2015.
14 years later. Obviously, this is not a good film.
No.
It's not a good film.
If it was a good film, we wouldn't be calling this fancy shit.
Well, like let's go through the movie a little bit, and then at the end, let's just kind of like analyze it a little bit more. And by the way, just to let everyone know, spoiler alert. Just in case you don't want Joe Dirt 2 spoiled, don't watch any more of this video. So, Memory, tell us about Joe Dirt 2.
So it starts out with them mimicking Forrest Gump, even having him sit on the exact same bench as Forrest Gump, with the fucking bus going in front of him and somebody sitting there and him commenting on her shoes.
Yeah.
And then immediately it goes into poop jokes.
Yeah, I think it was within like the first 3 minutes of the movie, maybe even 2. It was.
I think it was like the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Okay, yeah.
No, I'm just waiting for the concert to be over there, yeah. I tidy up after. Yeah, I'm sort of, a roadie. I don't travel with them. Mostly I mop up after they're done. Like, I clean up the poop and the barf and things, and your occasional fart items and pee-pee, whatnot.
And like, I get that it was supposed to be like a referential thing of like, oh, we're making fun of like, Forrest Gump or whatever and whatnot. And that'd be fine if it was funny. It was not funny. It was very painful.
There were only like 2 or 3 times in this whole movie that we laughed.
Yes.
But yeah, spoiler alert, him and Brandy have children.
Yes.
And
Triplets.
the next thing that happens in the movie is the birth scene.
Which is one of the most uncomfortable things look, I will watch movies like Martyrs, which will have a scene of somebody being flayed alive. And I am more comfortable watching that than this scene of her giving birth.
Yeah, they have the camera like where her pussy is supposed to be.
Yeah. We get pussy vision.
Pussy cam looking out at the doctor who's smoking a cigarette and blows the smoke at her vagina.
Yeah.
And then there's another doctor that comes up and another doctor, and he like makes really uncomfortable comments about her pussy.
Yeah. He's just like leering. And then the two female
doctors like are talking about how hot her pussy is, even though she's having triplets.
And she's crowning at that point.
She's crowning, but they can see that there's 3 babies.
Doesn't make any sense.
Which makes no sense.
Yeah.
And then they almost make out while looking at her pussy.
Yeah. Being stretched to bejesus as she's about to like pop out 3 babies.
This Brandy chick is pure gold, inside and out.
Wow, Martin Scorsese couldn't compose a better shot. What more could a guy ask for?
Very uncomfortable. I question I question the choices that were made in this.
David Spade wrote this.
David Spade
in 2014.
And a head writer for SNL who also then ended up being the director. And he's directed a bunch of other absolute fucking garbage too.
And then we get our first glimpse of Mark McGrath from Sugar Ray.
Yeah. You know what? And the thing is too, he was terrible in this, but I have got to give him some fucking credit for hamming it up that fucking hard.
He did.
He did not fucking play. Mark McGrath came to fucking make a shitty movie, and by fucking God, he did.
I don't know how he managed to do this, but he looked older than Christopher Walken.
He did. He fucking super did. I thought the same thing. And like, I don't have anything against Mark McGrath. I think I've seen him in other stuff. He's hilarious.
Yeah, no, it's just really bad writing, but just like the makeup artist on this fucking sucked because he looked older than Christopher Walken.
He super did. Yeah. It was...
It looked like he was wearing some sort of like prosthetic to make him look younger. Because of the way that they did his makeup. It looked really unnatural and weird.
He looked like one of those... Okay, so when I was younger, my mom worked at a pharmacy, and there was this one lady that my mom couldn't fucking stand. She was like, she's a bitch. She's always just fucking talking shit about everybody. And I finally saw this woman, and I was horrified because she looked like a department store mannequin because of how much like layers of foundation that she wore to like fill out her face. Because she was getting older, and she had a bunch of wrinkles, and she didn't want anybody to know she had wrinkles. So she just like smearing putty inside the craters to just pull the face out. So it's this like fake fucking Halloween mask of a face. That's how it felt looking at Mark McGrath. It was very weird.
It was very weird. But then the next scene is the tornado scene. And I have a really good quote, like a direct quote from Jeff during this scene, because a cow gets picked up by the tornado and moves. And Joe Dirt goes, "Cow!" Cow! So Jeff said, quote, "I love that they have to explain things, because the people who would find this funny might not understand that there was a cow flying in the tornado unless Joe Dirt says, cow! Cow!" But anyway, so the tornado does a Wizard of Oz and whisks him far away. But it's not to another magical land. No, it's back to 1965. We time travel.
Right.
Because of a tornado.
Right.
And then there's like a really awkward exchange with like
bikers.
Some bikers. I almost
Right.
like guitarists. And they make more Forrest Gump references.
A lot more. Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, so then they try to mimic Back to the Future with this.
Oh fucking Christ. Oh my god.
So he's back in time and he sees the actress that plays Brandy and Mark McGrath. So instead of being their characters, they are actually those characters' parents.
Right.
Right? And they're at the drive-in movie theater. And Mark McGrath is talking about how he's going to poke a hole in the popcorn bag.
Mm-hmm.
And Mark McGrath over-explains sticking your dick through a hole in a popcorn bag.
This is time to try the old popcorn surprise. See, I put a hole through the bottom of a large tub of popcorn.
Does the popcorn fall out?
I don't know. It doesn't matter, right? After I cut the hole through.
And it is.
And they can't say penis or dick. They cuss in this movie. They say motherfucker.
Yeah.
But they call a penis thingy.
I put my my thingy up through the hole.
Thingy.
Wait, hold on now, fella. You lost me. What's a thingy?
Get smart fast. That thing you used to go number one?
Well, that's what they called it back in the 60s.
No,
they
it
didn't.
was not.
No, they did not.
No, it was not.
And it was so weird too because like when he first goes back and like that whole scene with them at the drive-in movie theater and shit like that didn't feel like the 60s. That felt like the 50s.
Yeah.
Like a back in the future, Back to the Future kind of thing. Like it felt like it was supposed to be in like the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very, very fucking confused by all of this. It's really fucking weird. So so there's that. Then
are we going to talk about his Mark McGrath's family?
Yeah. Oh God. Do you want to tell it?
So after they over-explain Mark McGrath shoving his dick through a hole in the popcorn bag, apparently his parents show up, his dad, his mom, and his sister, and they're all at the drive-in movie theater. And what do they see? Oh, yummy popcorn.
Mom!
I want some popcorn.
Mom, what do you guys say? Hey, no. Oh.
So they're all shoving their hands in the popcorn and eating it. And, oh, it's so good. And they're inadvertently jerking off Mark McGrath.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, dude, don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. I like that. Don't stop.
It won't come out.
Oh, yeah.
And
To
then
completion.
he comes, and his dad, like as soon as he does, his dad's like finishing shoveling in popcorn in his mouth and goes,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Mark McGrath gets jerked off by his parents, and then his dad eats his cum. Yeah. And you know what's weird too is I was really sure that at that point in the movie, like Joe Dirt was going to like hook up with his wife's mom.
yeah,
And then his wife would then be his daughter.
right.
And I'm like, okay, that could be interesting, uncomfortable, gross, but I want to see how it's going to play out. Well, let's see how it plays out, Cotton. But they didn't do that. This movie was very safe, aside from Mark McGrath's.
I don't think you could even call it safe. It's so.
It's bumper lanes.
He runs away from the cops in a cornfield, and he's explaining to the lady, like flash forward back to the conversation he's having with a lady on a park bench.
Yeah.
And
He's Forrest Gumping.
He's Forrest Gumping, and he's talking about how he got away from the cops, and she's saying how she can't believe that because they have police dogs. And then it ends with CGI, not Forrest Gump, with Joe Dirt laying down like a starfish, and there are dogs on each leg and each arm and his fucking head.
Yeah.
And they're humping him.
Yeah.
But they're not real dogs. They're CGI dogs.
Bad CGI dogs. Just group raping Joe Dirt, and it's very strange. Also, early on, he runs into just random people in the 60s, and one of them is Buffalo Bob, and it's supposed to be like a Silence of the Lambs joke, and it doesn't land because it doesn't lead up to it. There's no real good reference. There's almost a good reference, like when you see kind of a flash forward of like, eventually you find out that Joe got kidnapped by Buffalo Bob, and Buffalo Bob like did the whole lotion thing. That's kind of
that's from the original Joe Dirt.
Oh, it is. Yeah, that's right. That's right. And that's kind of funny, except that in this case, bringing it back, it was just literally a joke so that one dude could say on camera, "A great big fat person."
Yeah, that was really uncomfortable.
A great big. Is your wife a great big fat person?
Are you married?
I am married. Now, that's a normal question, man. I'm married to Brandy.
Is she like a great big fat person?
A great big fat person. She is not. She's about 115, I'm guessing.
I really wish those numbers were turned around.
Like 511?
Well, then she'd be a great big fat person.
No, she's 115 pounds. Oh, I was really hoping that she would be the other way around. 511.
Yeah, call me when your wife's a great big fat person. And it was very stupid. All right, let's speed it up a little bit. So after that, which one is that one?
The next scene that I have written down is actually a video, and it's Joe Dirt reprising the most quoted thing from Joe Dirt when he's talking to the Native American dude in the original one about the fireworks. He goes off on that tangent like, you don't have any whistling bung swirlers, but instead it's about drugs.
No Xanny bars, White Crosses, Special K, Moon Rocks, no Zippets, Poppets, Whippets, Black Beauties or cocaine, also known as Yayo, Power Flower, Talk Chalk, Devil's Dandruff.
Oh, yeah, that was kind of weird.
But no, I just like selling aspirin and weed.
So you sell heroin and all that kind of crap?
No, just aspirin and weed.
'Cause that's what I like.
His cameo was the cameo of Kick and Wing. Was actually kind of cute because I like that actor a lot. The cameos and the revisiting of some of the people were some of the best parts of the movie. But he meets Leonard Skinner.
Yep, he does.
Gives them their name. He influences history a lot. But the scene with Leonard Skinner goes on for like a million fucking years, and it's really pointless. And
every scene goes on for a million years, and you're like, is it? Can I die now?
I think the movie really wasn't that fucking long, but it felt like 5 hours. I'm exhausted after watching it.
Yeah, that felt like a 4-hour movie, and it was probably only like an hour and a half.
So he keeps traveling through time. He meets up with Christopher Walken, when he's a gangster. They make a bunch of fucking money because Joe knows the future, and then he gets to the point where he's supposed to meet Brandy.
Oh, you forgot Christopher Walken forcing a laugh.
Well,
he's supposed to laugh.
Yes.
He cannot laugh.
The best part of this movie, aside from the uncomfortableness of Mark McGrath, and Mark McGrath being willing to just completely shit all over himself for this movie just for fun, was Christopher Walken faking laughs. And
you just turned my life around, man. You made me rich.
Me too. Yeah.
Holy shit. I will say, okay, if you are a bad movie connoisseur and you're willing to accept wasting an hour and a half of your time for 5 seconds of something amazing, then watch this movie, because that scene with Christopher Walken laughing is...
Just Google that scene on YouTube. I'm sure it's up there.
You know what? If I can, I'll try and put it in this video. Fuck it.
Ha!
Drink because I got my liver taken out.
Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Huh?
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. No kidney, no problem.
That's right. Let's do it.
And then immediately he's just like, goes and just totally neutral expression. It was fucking great. So Joe Dirt then goes to try and meet up with Brandy, the love of his life, but he's too late. Mark McGrath has instead gotten into them guts, and so everything is now changed. And near the climax of the film, it's a more modern time. Joe's trying to get back with Brandy, and we're going to talk about something a little bit more meta about this in just a second. He's trying to get back together with Brandy, goes to Mark McGrath's house. Mark McGrath is sticking vodka-soaked tampons up his butt.
Come on, man, hear me out, man. You soak them in vodka, and then we shove them straight up our asses.
Oh, wait, what?
No, get you hammered ASAP, man. Mark McGrath does it every night.
No, he doesn't. He tells the boy.
Oh, no, he does it too.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Oh.
And his character is even quoted as saying, yeah, no, dude, people totally do this. Like Mark McGrath does this every day.
I bet you Mark McGrath put that in there because that movie was not funny.
Oh, sure.
And that was probably the only, like, hey, that's kind of good.
How you doing, Cal?
Hey, nine.
Yeah, it was a good
And
joke.
it was just kind of like, whoop, slipped in there.
He self-references his own self just so he could be like, yeah, I put vodka-soaked tampons on my butt. That was funny.
Yeah.
That was legitimately good.
That was too good for this movie.
It was way too good.
That was Mark McGrath being like.
So here's where we got to get into like the broader messaging of this movie, and it's the writing. It's the thing that I really wanted to talk about real quick because this is where I think things really fall apart. So at the end of it, we are told that Joe Dirt is learning a moral that he doesn't need money for his family to love him. He just has to be himself. Here's a problem, okay? The problem is, before he goes on this wild adventure, and spoiler alert, I know you guys didn't want this movie ruined, before he does a fucking Wizard of Oz and gets like carried off into the past, his daughters see him as a loser. But in no way does it have anything to do with money. It's just people disrespecting him.
Yep.
But by the end of the movie, it's like, I guess I didn't need to have lots of money. My family just loves me for me. So why are we talking about money? In fact, like, why is money even like a thing when it's not even become a topic until like 2/3 into the movie, and even then they barely touch on it? It's very dumb.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. Then the other one that's weird is when he first gets to the past, he meets those bikers, but nobody can ever see the bikers. And he keeps running into the bikers, but the people that he's interacting with can't see the bikers. And they're led by, what's his fucking name? Whatever.
Anyway, that kind of ass-kicking fun's an everyday thing for us, and now you get to tell us who to kick, and then whoop your ass!
Fuck, I can't remember his fucking name.
Isn't that the voice actor that plays Kronk?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure it's the voice actor that plays Kronk.
No, I think you're 100% right. Yeah.
Poison for Cusco's poison.
Patrick Warburton.
Yes.
And I fucking love Patrick Warburton. Because he's in a lot of shit. He's in a lot of crap. He's in a lot of movies that are
that was my foot.
Legitimately not good movies. But he is always hilarious. He's got a great voice. But so he's like the gang guy, and the gang has never explained what they're supposed to represent or what they even mean.
Yeah, they are.
Well, what?
Christopher Walken explains it.
What?
At the end, when they're having that conversation, like the bikers represent his anxieties and self-doubts.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
That's why they always know where he is.
But why?
I don't know.
But then why is Patrick Warburton later now an angel sent to guide Joe?
Because the angels will impart on you self-doubt in order for you to overcome.
To fuck with you. Got it. You know what I think it was? I think they didn't have any more money in the budget for a new actor. I think that's what it was. I think they were like, we should get Rob Schneider to be his angel. Well, we can't afford Rob.
Probably.
Anyway, long story short, Joe accepts himself and he wakes up and it's all the dream, which is always the most satisfying way for a movie to end. I have a thought. There are some people out there, and this is going to sound mean, but there's some people out there in Hollywood that cannot really do it on their own. And I believe that. I don't think that Jesus Christ, David Spade can do it on his own. He was a great accompanying man, a side character, a sidekick. He was great. And Tommy Boy and fucking what the fuck was the other one? Black Sheep. He's a good SNL actor, as a supporting role, but he did terribly. Dana Carvey.
I mean, I don't agree with that.
Really?
I mean, as the solo main character of the original Joe Dirt, he was great. I think the problem is because you said that he's been working on this it came out in 2015. They started production 2014, but how many years did he spend trying to get this into production?
Quite a few.
And the original Joe Dirt came out in 2001, and David Spade just kind of went off the radar.
Yeah.
I think he put too much fucking energy into trying to get this fucking sequel made, and he probably was so hyper focused on that he might not have pursued other roles.
I don't know who wrote the original Joe Dirt. Maybe it was David Spade, maybe. But I think...
But you said he helped write the second one, right? The
He
one that we
did.
just watched?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it would make sense because a lot of the jokes in the comedy in this movie, one of the biggest reasons why it is not funny is because it is a movie that came out in 2015 with comedy that is straight out of the early 2000s.
Yeah,
it
that's
is
true.
from an older time. I wouldn't be surprised if it was fucking written back then.
You know what's funny?
And it's just been sitting around waiting to be made.
So the original Joe Dirt was not directed by Fred Wolf, but it was written by David Spade and Fred Wolf, and then this one was written by David Spade. The new one, the sequel, is written by David Spade and Fred Wolf directed. So I think you're right. I think you're 100% right. But I also think I'm right too.
No, yeah, totally.
In that, it's a fucking. There are so many homophobic jokes in it.
It's very homophobic.
It's super homophobic.
It's not funny. The only things that we laughed at in this entire movie was Christopher Walken forcing the fake laugh twice.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
It's so awkward, but it's you can tell he's just ha, fuck it, I'm getting paid.
Yeah.
And then I let out a snort every once in a while because Joe Dirt would do something, and I laughed because I'm the idiot that fucking does that shit.
Sure.
When he went to throw the message in a bottle out into the ocean, and when he threw it, he was throwing it so hard and didn't let go in time, so it just went
Just straight
down right in his feet. Yeah, that's me. I do that shit.
Yeah. And I giggled a little bit internally, but not enough that I would actually make a sound about Mark McGrath being, being bold enough to be self-referential and being shitty,
right,
and terrible and whatnot. I think that was pretty funny. But yeah, I think you're right. I think it's an anachronism. It's a throwback, and they never kind of evolved with the times. And Happy Madison Productions are garbage. They're fucking trash. And this was really no exception. I think that some people who played sidekicks don't necessarily make good leading men. I think Joe Dirt, the original Joe Dirt, is an outlier.
Also, they shouldn't have made a sequel. They should have just left it as it is and then moved on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pointless. I mean, they just ripped off a bunch of other concepts and just...
Literally. This was just
This is a paycheck for somebody.
Let's homage all these other fucking movies and take elements from these other movies and reference all these other pop culture things.
Right.
Rather than making our own movie.
You know what's weird? So, Red Letter Media has mentioned this before, is Happy Madison Productions and all the other stuff that Adam Sandler does. They're 100% convinced that the only reason why they do these movies is to give a paycheck to all of Adam Sandler's friends. Because Adam Sandler will be in a couple of them, and then he'll go and make a movie with a totally different production company that he has no control over, but has a fantastic script, an excellent director, and it turns out to be a fucking amazing movie. And he acts at it. And he acts the shit out of it. Like, he can actually act. It's really impressive.
Adam Sandler is actually funny.
Well, he's actually funny, but like he does like dramatic roles where you'd be stunned to see like that's like so hot, want to touch the hiney kind of fucking guy, and then suddenly he's like in this dramatic role, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? This is crazy. But this machine, this whole like Hollywood machine of making these terrible fucking films, is literally just Adam Sandler making sure his friends can pay their rent.
Yeah, probably.
I think that's what it is.
Probably.
Yeah, that's weird.
Mm-hmm. So anyways, this movie fucking sucks.
Yeah.
But if you enjoyed this fancy shit that we have brought to you tonight.
Give us some suggestions for more fancy shit.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know if I want your suggestions. I think we have a like laundry list of bad movies.
Well, we're trying to figure out the equation of bad movies because I love bad movies.
Same.
And I can really enjoy bad movies, sometimes even more than good movies. Not this one.
No.
This was not enjoyable. But it was better.
It was better than the Tyler Perry movie that we tried to watch last year.
Yes.
We only made it 15 minutes into that movie.
I've never done that. I've always finished movies that I start, and I made it 15 minutes into a Tyler Perry movie, and I wanted to fucking kill myself.
Yeah, it was not funny.
It's not even because it was like offensive or just because it was unfunny.
It was just boring.
It was boring, and because like I know that so many people make so much fucking money off of those movies, and I don't know why, and it made me feel like there was something wrong with me.
I think Tyler Perry movies are on par with the movie that we watched tonight. Same type of like very, very dumb comedy. Like you can't even call it slapstick because it's not even that fucking smart.
Yeah.
It's just very like stupid poop joke comedy, and it's not funny.
I mean, I could like poop joke comedy, but like this is like poop joke comedy, and it's like, oh, it's poop joke comedy, and then all of a sudden it's like the most sanitized thing, and it's thingy.
Wait, thingy?
In the popcorn.
It's poop joke comedy told by a 5-year-old.
Yeah, yeah.
So you have to pretend to laugh, so you don't hurt their feelings.
So memory, would you recommend Joe Dirt 2?
Fucking-lutely not.
I'm gonna break with the convention and say just watch this one simple clip from it, and that's all you really need, and you'll enjoy it.
Let's do it.
But if anybody wants to buy the DVD, I have it. You can just have it. Just pay for shipping. Take it away from me.
Are we just trying to get rid of this fucking
Yes,
thing?
I do not want this in my fucking house anymore.
Yeah, fuck it, whatever. Somebody send us a message. We'll mail you Joe Dirt 2.
Maybe you should give it away to like your highest paying Patreon supporter.
Oh man, yeah. Maybe I could do that, or I could donate it to a local church youth group. Good night, everybody.
Bye.